What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the third episode of the Slayer series. We've been chugging right along, and I'm having so much fun doing it, and I'm glad everyone is enjoying it. I've been getting tons of great feedback, and I appreciate that a lot. So let's get episode 3 rolling. Last episode, we talked about moving through the Slayer skill in our next Slayer Master, who was Chaldar, located in the lost city of Zenaris. We also talked about what should be our first unlock with the Slayer points we've acquired, and if you missed the last episode, check out the description for a link to episodes 1 and 2. In this episode, we're going to talk about our next Slayer Master, what kind of tasks were assigned, and what some of our next unlocks should be. As we've been making our journey, we've come across two good Slayer Masters already, the first one being Vanaka, who required a combat level of 40 to use, and the second was Chaldar, who required a combat level of 70, and now we're on to our third Slayer Master. The third Slayer Master in our journey is going to be Nieve. Nieve is the second most advanced Slayer Master in RuneScape, and is actually used by a fair amount of high-level Slayers. There's a couple of things we need to use Nieve as our next Slayer Master. First, we're going to need a couple of quests to access her location. Actually, let me correct myself by saying, it would be in our best interest to have a couple of quests done to access her location. By this time, however, we should already have these quests done, but in case you haven't gotten around to it yet, I'll break it down anyway. First, we're going to need to complete the Grand Tree quest. This quest is needed so we can have access to the gnome gliders that travel around Gielinor. They can be pretty useful at times, whether you're slaying or just traveling around, so it's a good idea to have it done. Second, we're going to want to complete the Tree Gnome Village quest. This is the more essential one we're looking at having done. There are no prerequisites for this quest, so knocking it out shouldn't be a problem. The reason we need this quest done is because it will give us access to the Spirit Tree transportation system. Nieve is located in the Gnome Stronghold, which is a pretty good run north-northwest of Ardoin. It's pretty far from any teleport location, so you might want to have the Spirit Trees. By having the Spirit Trees at our disposal, we can simply run from the Grand Exchange to the Spirit Tree located northeast of there, and teleport right to the Gnome Stronghold. And then Nieve is just a short run to your west. So if you need a quest guide to these, check out the description where I've linked some good guides to these quests. Alright, so, now that we've got these quests out of the way, we can now get to Nieve pretty easily. Our second requirement, well, actually our only real requirement to using Nieve, we're going to need to have a combat level of 85. We started last episode at level 70, and we've shredded our way through the ranks and gotten our stats up so our combat level is 85 or higher. Now, like my previous episodes, I don't think we're going to need to get past level 85 combat to start using Nieve. The reason for this being, from my experience, Nieve gives good tasks. And by good, I mean good NPC assignments in a manageable amount. Nieve is generally used by higher level Slayers for faster experience. Like every higher Slayer Master, Nieve will assign some tasks that the previous one didn't, which is good because we can now expand our knowledge, know a few more NPCs we can make bank on, and maybe figure out what's fast XP, what's slow XP, and what NPCs are the best for cash income. And, just like last episode, tougher tasks comes bigger reward. As always, Nieve rewards bonus points for every 10th, 50th, 100th, 250th, and 1000th task. The bonus points values are as follows: 60 points every 10th task, 180 points every 50th task, 300 points every 100th task, 420 points every 250th task, and 600 points every 1000th task. With the points values getting so high, we want to make sure we're using the best Slayer Master that we can so we can hit those bonus tasks. The extra points are great for our unlocks that we're going to discuss now. Last episode, we talked about our first unlock, which was the Malevolent Masquerade, which gave you the ability to create a Slayer Helm. And remember, we need the Slayer Helm so we can combine all of our headpieces that protect us from certain NPCs all into one with our black mask, so we never have to change our headpiece. As we get higher in level, we're more equipped to take on the superior variants of the Slayer monsters we're fighting. The superior variants are stronger and more deadly versions of their normal counterparts. So this is where we're going to want to unlock Bigger and Badder for 150 of our precious Slayer points. The superiors can have a host of different abilities that we aren't used to seeing, so if you want to check out each superior and see what they do, I've also provided a link to this in the description so you can check them out. Now the superiors also have an item drop bonus and experience bonus. The latter gives you a good chunk of bonus experience when you take down a superior, while the former, well, that's the rewarding part. The superior variant of any Slayer creature rewards you with 3 rolls on their normal drop table. So you could possibly get 3 awesome drops depending on how lucky you are. Imagine getting 3 Abyssal Whips in one drop. How sick would that be? But all jokes aside, You also have the chance to grab a couple of items that are unique to superiors, the Imbued Heart and the Eternal Gem. The Imbued Heart is a magic boosting item that can be activated an infinite number of times, meaning it's like a magic potion that never runs out. The other item, the Eternal Gem, can be crafted into an Eternal Slayer ring, which gives the user an infinite number of teleports to the Slayer locations. So it's my suggestion that we definitely unlock Bigger and Badder as soon as possible. So now with the Bigger and Badder upgrade out of the way, our next focus needs to be the extension of good tasks. As our Slayer level gets higher and we're better prepared to slay the stronger NPCs for a longer amount of time, we need to focus on making the good income tasks longer. I'm not going to go through exactly why we should extend each individual NPC because honestly, it's all for the same reason, more money. The first two I recommend unlocking is Pedal to the Metals, which will increase your Bronze, Iron, and Steel Dragon tasks, and Fire and Darkness, which will increase your Black Dragon tasks. I recommend these because they increase the odds of grabbing a Draconic Visage, or if you choose to kill brutal Black Dragons, a Dragon Full Helm. Now these two items are incredibly rare, but the chance to receive them as drops is always present, so don't forget that. You gotta play to win. Depending on where we're at as far as Slayer level goes, is how we're going to want to order our task extensions. For example, if we're level 60 Slayer, we want to extend our Aberrant Spectre tasks. If we're level 75, we want to extend our Gargoyle tasks, and so on and so on. While the tasks may take longer, you'll have the chance to acquire more good drops and a more steady income from NPCs with a good drop table. Most of the extensions only cost 100 points with a few exceptions. The Mithril Dragon extension is 120 points, Bloodveld's 75 points, and Black Dragon's 50 points. We're definitely going to want to pick up that Black Dragon extension, because with that extension, we can kill more Black Dragons, which can be regular Black Dragons, Brutal Black Dragons, or the King Black Dragon, which will thus increase your odds of getting more drops. Plus, the Brutal Black Dragons are bank loot, so we always want to have those available. And we don't want to go there to kill just 10 or 12 of them. We'd rather be killing, 45, 50, or 60. It'll make the loot that much better in the long run. As far as some other unlocks and buys go, I'll leave them up to you. For unlocks, you're probably going to want to grab Gargoyle Smasher, which will automatically use your Rock Hammer to finish off a Gargoyle. Now, I recommend getting this one, but I don't recommend getting any of the lower tier finishers, because as we get higher in Slayer level, you'll stop seeing those tasks. The Gargoyle Smasher unlock costs 120 points. The next unlock we might want to consider is to unlock Red Dragons as a Slayer assignment. Killing brutal Red Dragons can be incredibly profitable. This costs 50 points. And lastly, buying an herb sack. The herb sack allows you to carry up to 30 grimy herbs of each individual herb. This means 30 Renar, 30 Irit, 30 Avanto, 30 Guam, and so on. The herbs must be grimy though. They can't be clean or they won't be allowed to go into the herb sack. The herb sack costs a whopping 750 Slayer points, but from my experience, it is incredibly worth it. You can pick up so many herbs that you normally would just either leave there or have to bank 100 times to bring them all back. For these, I'll leave the decision up to you as to when it would be best to acquire them. Obviously, don't go spending 120 points on Gargoyle Smasher until you're 75 Slayer and can actually kill them. Save your points wisely and you'll have enough to unlock things as you go. I think that's going to be it for episode 3. We're up to 85 combat and hopefully a decent Slayer level at this point. Next episode, we'll check out our final Slayer Master and run through some other do's and maybe some don'ts, so keep an eye on my channel and watch for episode 4. For now, we'll jump back into my personal Slayer journey accompanying the series. I have now knocked out 600,000 Slayer experience and have got some awesome loot to accompany it. Last episode, my running task total increased to about an even 10 mil, and my running clue total increased to 1.8 mil, bringing my total running profit to 11.8 mil. Thankfully, this episode I've had a bit better luck, and I'm back on track for an awesome cash gain by 1 million experience. This episode, I had a total of 7 tasks and 4 clue scrolls. In my 7 tasks, I brought in an estimated 8.5 mil and used 2.3 mil on supplies, which leaves me with a pure profit of right around 6.2 mil. The clues weren't too plentiful, however. With only 4 of them, I only managed to bring in an extra 400k, which brings my profit up to 6.6 mil for this episode. Adding this to my running total, I'm currently sitting at 18.3 mil. I'm pretty happy with that. Even though my tasks haven't been the greatest, I'm still making a decent income. According to OS Buddy's bank estimation, I'm currently sitting around 21.4 mil for my loot tab. Remember though, this loot tab includes all my Slayer drops and my non-unique clue rewards. However, depending on RNG, your drops could total less than this or even much more. What you're currently seeing is what I would say is average, but it has the potential to be much greater given a little bit of luck. In my unique clue scrolls tab, I have about 800k in rewards. Not much change from last week, the clues have not been kind to me, but overall, OS Buddy is estimating that if I were to sell all of this right now, I'd have right around 22.2 mil. Definitely not a bad haul for only 600,000 experience. But, as usual, all good things must come to an end, so that's going to do it for this episode. I've got 2 episodes to go for this series, and 400,000 Slayer experience left to bang out. Hopefully, RNGesus will pay me a visit in the near future. So, like always everyone, thanks for watching. I'm having a lot of fun putting this series together. I hope you're all still enjoying it and can find it incredibly useful throughout your own personal Slayer training. Don't forget to tap that subscribe button on your way out. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take it easy.
I'm like, hey, what's up?